Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for
Good
clicking on our
evening.
faces. We are like Brew Book Review, and we are talking about the second half of A Court of Thorns and Roses. So, of course, I can't be here alone. I'm joined by my fellow co hosts. Here to my left, go right ahead. Introduce yourself yet again, Stephanie O.
Oh, because I'm like, hi, Stephanie O here. I'm like over here somewhere. I know I was to your left.
To the left, right, one of these.
Hmm.
Okay. And below we have
Hi, it's me, Danny Say So. I'm back with another book review, part two. I hope you guys caught the first one and, picked up on the book so you can join us and talk about what you thought about it and who you're in love with. Choose a side. That's what we're here to
yes,
do. I think we're gonna I think we've read enough to be able to pick a side now. I think so.
yes.
So we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this goes.
Also, if you're interested in reading the book along with us, I posted some links in the description so you can purchase while they're still on sale. I want to say this book is on sale for 46% off right now on Amazon, and book two is off 33% off. So hop on those deals before they disappear. But to the book, right? This second half, I feel like this second half is almost a completely different book. It's like it feels like this should have been like book two as opposed to like
Mm.
all in one book. Really, we have a whole shift in the male lead for one. We were all about goddamn Tamlin the first half of the book, right? Tamlin, right? And then all but suddenly we get a mysterious Sir, and he takes over from like halfway on, like he's the center of attention, the belle of the goddamn ball. And his name is Resand. He is our mysterious lord of the dark court, the fairy dark court. And later in the book, he puts this bargain up for her. She's very injured in one chapter, to the brink of death, right? And she makes a deal with the devil in order to in order to like maintain her life, whatever, so she doesn't die, and it's to visit him for 1 week out of the month or something like that. And it's giving very much Hades and Persephone or whatever her name is, where she has to like visit him, every once in a while and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
So first of all, you reminded me of what was that? Because it was on Webtoons that they did that story with Persephone and Hades.
Yes.
And I was in love with
Yes.
that too. And some
Hmm.
other people might say that's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, like kind
Very
of
much
deal.
so, yes.
But I'm like, this is a book, this is fantasy world, so it's allowed. Obviously, we know if it really
100%.
happened, we'd probably but
Mhm.
I already got spoiled to the story. I told you the whole reason I started the book was for a reason.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
already knew that he was coming, and so I kind of never opened my heart to Tamlin. And
Okay.
like they had like their very sweet moments and stuff like that. And he's like he is aggressive, but he's like still he's very green and golden. I'm here. I'm ready for I'm ready for the triangle. I'm ready to see
Okay.
how that kind of plays out now that she's going to be spending time with him, because it was supposed to be 2 weeks, I think.
And she
Yeah,
And then they
bargained.
knocked it down to one.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point she said, if you would have told me every day of the year, I would have said yes. And he was like, I
yes.
know. I was like, what? I mean,
That's because he's
I just want
leveraging her moment of weakness. Like she's literally on her deathbed. What else the fuck is she supposed to do?
no, no, no,
She
no.
had
She
no
said this
choice.
after. She said this after he
But
saved her.
she, because she meant that because she was dying, so she had to save herself. Whatever he would have offered, she would have took
Right.
at the end. She's dying. It's either deal
But
or
He had
death.
no
I think at
choice.
that point though, when she said it, it meant a little bit more than that.
Okay.
I think at that
I'm
point
reading
she
in
was starting
between
to
the
kind of
lines.
feel him a little bit.
Mm. Mm.
I think so. I think so. Like, he knew it, which is why he smiled and was like, I know. And the, uh, very way. The fact that he fought so hard for her, while she was down there and keeping her alive, and Tamlin didn't do nothing. Like you couldn't do anything.
That's what kind of like, yeah. The fact that she had to fucking save the day and save Tamlin's old non-working ass. It's like, what is he? He was doing nothing. The end of the book, literally not lifting one fucking finger. And she had to literally kill folks to get them home.
She had to kill the. You know what? That was her fault though, because that riddle was so easy.
No, it wasn't. It took
if
me to like
you
the 44th chapter till I got it. I did not know what
Are
it
you
was.
Oh,
serious?
the 1, 2, 3
I
thing?
got it right away. The riddle
I
where
have
she
a
was like,
clue.
either you do the trials or you solve the riddle and I'll let you go instantly. Because she did the trials and
Uh-huh.
she was like, oh, joke's on you. I'll let you go when you're dead. But she solved the riddle and that's why the spell broke. So if she would have solved the riddle, she wouldn't have had to kill those two elves.
It took
Farrah
me a
is
while to
not
get that
the
riddle.
brightest, crayon in the box, ma'am. She's not the sharpest tool in the shed. She had to go with her strengths. She's a
Correct.
hunter.
She's a hunter. Very much.
So
She
that's
is
what
a
she had
hunter.
to
She
do.
is a hunter. And I
But
was trying to
she
give her
literally had to.
grace because I'm like, okay, maybe she doesn't understand love. And that's why the riddle didn't make sense to her. Like she had to actually go through the motions to
Then
know, oh, this is what love is and this is what love will do to you. But damn it, she
I,
really killed those two elves. She
I
killed
don't
them.
know. I don't know about this. The second half of this book made me completely not even moist for Tamlin, like not at all. Like he's not even like if I have to do all the work and you're just goddamn passenger princess, no, instantly turn off. And
they
he did
told you
nothing.
why though. They told you why. It's not as there was no shocker. He couldn't. It game would have been over had he
He could
shown
have did
any
something.
emotion. No, he couldn't. That woman was nuts.
First of
No
all,
way.
as
I don't want to
first
hear
of
he
all,
couldn't because he found the time to go ahead and fill her up in that
thank
dark room
you.
and almost get them killed, which Resan had to come in and save them again. So he
Speak
had
on it.
time to come fill her up, but he could not save her from the
Thank
brink
you.
of
And he
death.
didn't do. He
Shut
was ready
shut
for
down
it
the case
too.
on Tamlin. Case closed.
She had his powers in tucked away. She took his power. There was nothing he could do. He did the best
She
he could
don't
to
got
keep
no
her alive.
powers. She's a
Tam,
human. She don't got no powers, and she
no,
found a
no, no.
way.
What's her name? I always want to say her name wrong. The dark the queen.
Alice. Oh wait, no, Azarmantha or some shit like that.
Right,
Alice.
right.
Amarantha?
She had their power. She had stripped him of most of his powers when he came to the court under the rock or whatever. So he really didn't have. Only thing he could do to keep her alive was show his indifference. I think that he did what he could because she would have been dead immediately had he not shown restraint. So he showed discipline. I don't
But he didn't
fault
show
him.
restraint. He didn't show restraint. And he had
He did.
no power to save her if Amarantha would have caught them in that room.
But
True,
he was
and
He had
ready for
no
some
power to save
food.
her. So he was
true
going to risk it all in that moment.
because it
At
was
the end of
almost
everything,
because he knew she wasn't going to. I don't think he thought she was going to make it through that third task. So he's
he
like,
didn't
well,
believe in her.
if it's over, it's
No.
over. If
But
it's
you know
over,
But
who
at
did
the same
believe in her?
time, I feel that their love story has more of a legitimate backing behind it as opposed to her and Rhysand. Because it's like, okay, he loves her because he's trying to break the curse, very much, Beauty and the Beast or whatever. But what the fuck is Rhysand's deal? Like, why is he so like obsessed with her? For what reason?
because he want what he can't have. He's a taker. He's the man who want to see if he could take you from your man. He don't want her for real. It's just the chase, the challenge. Reese is not serious. It's just cat and mouse to him. He just wants to conquer her. That's
I can see
it.
that. I can see
That's
that.
it. He don't want.
Especially,
He wants her.
and he's no prince either because he's literally drugging her every night. Like, oh yeah, I wish I could sample. He literally told her, I wish I could sample you, but I'm holding back.
Very much.
Because,
Very much. Right.
yeah, not holding back
Right.
because it's the right thing to do. Holding back
Correct.
because he wants Tamlin to know that he could, grape her if he wanted to, but he held back.
It's
like, what kind of shit is this?
He don't want her for real. But I like that he creates some doubt because I'll admit in the first 20 chapters, I thought it was going to be Tam versus Lucius. or whatever his little
Oh, okay, yeah,
courtier was. I thought she liked him more than she liked Tam. And so when it kind of came out that, okay, it's not him, I said, oh, okay. So she has to have some antagonist or whatever. But I like the color he adds to the story. And I'm intrigued to see. That's why I want to read book 2, because I'm like, what is he going to do in this week she's with him? Like, what's going to happen? What is his plan? Like, I just want to know where his head is at.
The reason why I feel like this second half needs to be its own book, it doesn't feel like it's one book, is because usually with books, you have, even with Twilight, the first book, heavily Edward, the second book, heavily Jacob. It's like every fandom has their own book to cling to. This, you don't even get your own fucking book if you're a Tamlin fan. You got to split it with Rhys-Ann halfway through. And I'm sure the second book is heavily Rhys-Ann. Like, it's clear to me. So it's like, I feel like this should have been 2 separate books.
The first
she knows what the people want. She knows what the people want.
God,
and we don't want a Tamlin. We don't want Tamlin.
Away. We don't even, the first half of the book didn't even need to be a book. She could have started the book when it got good in terms of her having to do the challenges, in terms of her venturing to the rock, like all that other stuff we did in the first like 20 chapters. The book didn't get good until the 30th chapter. And it doesn't make any sense that I had to go through those.
I'd at least gave it to chapter 20.
Yeah, like it was definitely like
it was necessary. It was necessary to build up to see why she was so resourceful later on in the challenges and stuff like that, to see what a good hunter she was, and like how caring, how big her heart can actually be. So I feel like it was a good build up, and I feel like it all was good in one book. Like, I imagine the entire book just being introductory and just Tamlin, and not even, because they didn't go heavy Rhys-Ann. They sprinkled him in there,
right?
And then he was more heavy towards the end, but it was still very much focused on her love for Tamlin and his failure to save her.
Yes.
Chapter 1 through 30 could have been 3 chapters max.
To his credit, he did not save her. He did not save her, but you know what he did do? He pulled her whole family out of poverty. He took all her sisters, daddy, built them up, put them in a whole castle mansion area. So that's something like, let's not act like Tamlin wasn't doing
that's the least. That's the least he could have done, since he set her up. When I found out the stipulations behind why he was going for her, I had such a bad taste in my mouth. Like the fact that you sent your men out there to get killed purposely.
Shady boots.
To break this curse is crazy. It's crazy. And I know you didn't want to do it.
He had to do what he had to do, man. Time was
and I was like, did he love her? Or was it like, are you forcing yourself to love her? How did you feel about humans before all of this? You didn't have hate for them.
I think he did love her, only because when he first told her that he loved her, she was asleep. So it wasn't like he was like awake and trying to seduce her, make her fall and shit. He didn't even know she was awake, and he said it. So I feel
I'm just saying, let her stumble across somehow onto your lands. No stipulations. Could he have fallen for a human?
He was fishing. He said he had a goal, and she fit the criteria. I'm not mad at him too much for that. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to make a way. He said he wasn't about to find her just in the castle. He had to go out and make it happen.
And you can't meet no one in your living room. You got to go out. You got to go.
Amen.
Head out.
You mean you can't meet nobody in your living room? Of course you can.
He
ain't gonna knock on your door. He not gonna knock on your door.
That's the only way this is going down.
You gotta make it happen like Tamlin. Set him up.
Listen, and I still believe chapters 1 through 30 could have been about 3 chapters, 3 maybe thick chapters, but we could have got straight to the big leagues. Like, come on, like that was tough. But I'm not 100% a Tam fan. And it's probably because they look like fairies. If they look like regular men, maybe. But I don't like this fairy look. I don't like the color. I don't like none of that.
Not a fairy girl either.
I want a real, give me a regular, schmegular, degular, attractive man. And then the dark horse, coming in. But I like that Rhys gives Tam a run for his money. But again, I still believe that Rhys only wants her because Tam has her. So I would love some backstory on like, what's really driving Reese's motives here. Because you can't tell me you fell in love with her that one night you met her and she almost got raped by those other fairies and you saved her. You wasn't feeling her that night.
Right.
You was about to rape her too. Stop.
I agree. He's definitely a rake.
It's definitely not that. He's definitely an F boy, right? But I think like slowly, like she just keeps impressing him, like as a human, of how resilient she is. And she just doesn't back down. Even like in the face of death, she does not back down. And then that at a moment in the story, he goes and sits with her in the cell. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he was like, "Oh, I just wanted some quiet." So I was like, "Oh, like she's like he's associating her with like this place of like silence and peace." Because she, who you gonna tell, what you gonna do. But he still associated her with that. So it's just like bit by bit, he's seeing her in a different light each time. And eventually that kind of breaks through his other motivations of just sticking it to Tamlin.
That's
so
abuse.
free her. So free her from the 1 week a month then. If you love her, free her.
Well, no, because he's still trying to get with that.
Man, see.
We're still trying to do what we're gonna do.
Honestly, we said we had to pick a side, right? Pick a side, Tamlin or Rhysand, right? The spring court or the night court or whatever. And honestly, I don't even think I'm down with a side right now. I don't like none of them for real. So I can't even decide because none seem like a. But if I really had to choose, like if it's like, yeah, you better choose, bitch. I might choose Tamlin because he got the coins. What? He brought her out of poverty. She don't got to do nothing. She came to his house to do diddly squat, just fucking like live her dreams, do her just explore what she wants to do. I can get down with that. With Rhysand, she literally had to be branded on her hand. She had to make this life or death like decision.
Naked.
She had to like be a slave, be drugged every night. I don't want to do that. I want to be in the castle, just painting and chilling and shit, just because I'm a woman. So yeah, Tamlin.
But he over here allowing her to just lounge around and be ignorant, which is how she almost died because she can't read. So my man said that he's going to torment her by teaching her how to read. Oh yeah, real bad guy here.
No,
real
Tamlin
bad guy.
helped her how to read. Didn't Tamlin take her to his library and all of that? I remember that, ma'am. Don't try to act like that was the reason.
He took her to the library and left her there to write down words that she didn't know, to which he did not end up teaching her. She did not learn to read. He did not push her to learn.
He came up with a poem with all those words she didn't know, though. So he was trying to like show her that, he was working with, like he did come up with his little.
And I'm sure he would have brought a little tutor in there eventually. He got the connect, he got the coins.
Eventually.
For her. Yes. But Rhysand,
eventually to a fairy could be 50 years down the line when she's already old and dead.
My thing is
my man over here is like, first thing we about to do is I'm going to teach you how to read. He'll probably teach her how to fight.
I enslave you and drug you at night. Is that the price you pay to be
He's not going to drug her anymore.
Allegedly. We don't know that. He might still. Hey, it's his call. Drink this wine. We're going to have
He's Bill Cosby and her ass every night.
Every night. Drink this wine.
Don't go there.
And naked. And every night you could barely.
And painted her up. It's just out here.
Everything that he did might have seemed like it was for his entertainment, but some of it was for her benefit as well, because it was his way of proving that her and Tamlin, like, they didn't have anything going on. It took Amarantha's eye off of her by, yes, it was humiliating her a bit, but it's like he made her as little a threat as virtually possible, to the point where not even the guards were messing with her, and she was eating good up until her last trial.
Everything that he did, and told them don't mess with her no more. Though he told the guard, he put a spell on them,
not to mess with her anymore. He was the one that had her living in the lap of luxury while she was in that dungeon. Not Tamlin.
What?
Not of luxury,
right? Can you repeat that sentence?
She had the hot meals,
the lap of luxury in the dungeon,
hot meals, the good wine, and the fun parties
in the dungeon.
Had her working all night. Then she got to get up and hit the challenge the next day. I can't drink and she hit the challenges the next day. What? It's a
I feel like
setup.
the only reason he didn't keep her out of that cell is because, like he said, I can't let Tamlin feel like I touched you or he's gonna rip me
Uh,
up
He
after
gonna
he's
F
done
me
with
up big
selfish,
time.
Amarantha.
selfish.
Big. I'ma die, and I'm a fairy. So, yeah. Tamlin would have literally thrashed her. It would have just been, yeah. All so. Well, hold on. What do y'all think of the challenges? I love the challenge chapters. I thought that was really well done. That again, the
Mm-mm.
best part of the book. 30 through 46. Like
Yeah,
that was
because got some stuff
exciting.
going on. Some
It
stuff
showed
Mhm.
her
happened.
cunningness. I guess she would have been Ravenclaw because she couldn't have been. Well, she could have been Gryffindor. She could have been
I
between a
don't know.
Ravenclaw and
Oh
a
yeah, she could have
Gryffindor.
been Gryffindor. I feel like she would be Gryffindor
She
or
probably would have
Slytherin.
been
She's a
brave
little
because
scheming. She be scheming her way through now.
she was brave more than anything. So she probably was a
No, she
Gryffindor.
definitely schemed. Because first of all, this is something I noticed in the last chapter part, but I forgot to mention it. How when she first met Rhysand, she noted in her mind, like, and when he asked for her name, oh, I can't give him my name because he'll chase down my family. So I got to give him a fake name. She didn't even make up a name. This bitch gave the name of a random chick in the village. So
Okay, that's
he
the
can
first thing
chase.
she could think of. Damn, she
That's
No,
got to keep
so
Slytherin. Now
thinking,
you know what? You
Jenny.
are right. You are
so
right.
he
That's
can chase
Slytherin
down
thinking
that
right
girl's
there.
family.
No, who
Yep.
keeps fake names
Yep.
ready? I don't have. Somebody asked me my
Okay.
name.
But
I'm
but
gonna
but
keep
that's like me
stuff.
saying, look, listen to this. That's like me saying, oh yeah, oh I can't give him my name because he about to chase me down. Let me Stephanie that's my name. So he about to go kill your
Who
family.
who can think of a fake name on the fly though? You won't think of
But
someone
she
you
had
know.
enough sense to know not to give him her family name
Right,
because she
right.
knew what he
But
was
who
about
knows
to do.
a genuinely like Jane Doe? Who knows a Jane Doe that they can just whip
You
out
could have made up anything, but you
any
want to give him the name of somebody you know so he can kill
every
their family?
every
She
fake
probably
name I've
don't like
ever
that
given has
girl.
done that.
Slytherin, like I said,
No.
House Slytherin.
Every fake name I've ever given is tied to someone I know. Every fake name I've ever
Oh
given.
Lord.
There's no
Nah,
fake names I
nah.
know that have nothing to do with me.
The
Everyone
fake
does
names
it.
I give have nothing to do with me or anybody I know. It's just out the air.
Then maybe you're more Slytherin than we know because some of us are pure
No,
heart
I'm
and we don't
Ravenclaw.
know our
I'm
fake
witty. I'm
names.
witty out here. I'm witty. I'm ready with it.
I literally,
Welcome to the
No,
Slytherin gang.
Ravenclaw. Wisdom and wits. Tickle
listen.
my feet.
That was I think she tried to do her best version of anonymous. That because she was like, who would know this girl, Claire, whatever. She tried to give like the most unknown,
Well,
like
in the
that was.
epilogue,
I
we
don't think
see
that was an
that
accident.
Claire's family is dead.
Every last one of them. Yes, everyone is.
Every last one of them, thanks
Yeah,
to her. She's a
yeah.
killer. She was a killer before she became a killer. And
She was a killer.
Can we also speak on that? Why are we harping so hard on like why is she so devastated over killing these fairies? It was just two. Like she's acting like she was a mass murderer. You killed two fairies and now everyone's free. I get
You
it.
can't just say kill two.
That
Could
was
you
it.
stand there with a knife? Literally. Like, you know how hard it is to stab somebody?
I mean, but it's a
The
book for
effort
goodness
to
sake.
push the knife into another being?
Okay, but because even book two starts off with her, with these nightmares over the barfing, we throwing up because of the killings. It was just two, you weren't on a rampage. It was two, and now everyone's free.
I
It
guess
It's not,
because
wasn't
they were
hunting.
innocent
It wasn't
or
hunting
whatever.
for survival. It was just straight murder.
but it
Yeah.
wasn't even your will. It was against your will. How can you take on
It
the
don't
burden of
matter.
oh, I'm
That
over that
still
part of
stains you. It still stains you.
I can
you're
see both
over
sides because
Straight
honestly, if
murder.
it's between me and some stranger, they gotta go. If it's me every time, I'm choosing myself, right? You're sorry. But I can see feeling bad about it, right? But not to
but
the point where I'm not gonna do it. Like you think
where
I'm
we
about
gotta
to
keep
just not
reading about
do it?
it so bad that we gotta keep reading about it. I don't want to keep reading about how bad you feel about killing these
Well,
people.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't want to continue to hear about the torment well into book two. Like, I get it. You sad
Ah,
about it. Let's move on.
right. What's going on?
Do
I'm sure there's a
something to
greater
move
evil.
on. I'm okay.
Right. Glamour
Let's get
me.
to the
10, glamour me. So I forget something.
do something with yourself,
That'd have been my
Camlin.
first request. Glamour me. I don't ever want to remember this. Glamour it. Thank you.
But a couple of things, two things. What do you guys feel about the ending where she's turned into a fairy at the end?
Oh,
What do you guys feel about that?
oh. Now she's
Had to
ugly. I'm so
happen.
mad. Oh,
It had to happen because we got to
Like I
continue the
said,
story. We
this
can't
book
have
should have
her
been two
aging.
goddamn books. 2 goddamn books. Because you already a goddamn fairy in book 1 at the end of book 1. You already got a whole nother love interest at the end of book 1. It's too much going on here. How's it so
How many
slow
books do you
and
want
so
her to write?
eventful at the same
Right,
time?
right. This can't go on forever.
She wants like 30 books.
But I want it to make sense. Why is it so slow the first half, and then every goddamn event in life happens the second
How
half?
else could she live though? She killed that girl. What's she supposed to rise? She can't rise. She's dead.
How many courts do you want? We got thorns and roses. We got what's the next one?
I want the pacing to match up. I need
something
the pacing
and
to
mist.
I need
Woods
the
and
pacing
babies.
to pace.
How many courts do you want?
I need the pace and the pace. That's all I'm saying. I need the pace and the pace.
You said
I do not like that she.
Slow, and now you're saying it's too
how
fast.
she is already a fairy at the end of book 1. It's like, golly, where's all no build up? You know?
I didn't want her to be a fairy. I hope she would be human throughout it, and it never dawned on me that they would just kill her and bring her back as a fairy. Like that sucks.
And how is that even possible? It's like, what is this, vampires? Like, what is this, Bella fucking Swan?
It's given. We give one pass. We bring one back from the dead. That's what it's given.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe this is maybe it's a movie thing, but I was already expecting it to happen.
Really?
I was like she can't stay human. Like if she's actually gonna be like in this world, they have to kind of lose that vulnerability in her. Like she can't always be in danger because that gets old. Now we need to focus more on the relationship, the drama.
Well, what
you can't always
drama
have
is there?
that looming. You can't always have that looming danger around her. That the ACOTAR or what's the monster. Every little monster that comes across her when she goes for a walk on a Sunday morning in the woods is about to end this whole book. Like, so we needed to get rid of that and
they could have dragged it out. They could have dragged it out a little bit more. At least to the end of book 2. First of all, they should have introduced Rhysand at the end book 2, not motherfucking book 1. And they should have made her. Yes.
She would have died then. She would have never survived.
No, they could have made Tamlin do something. He was literally useless. He was literally useless the second half of the book.
Well, I tell you what, if they would have brought him in at the end of book 2, I don't know if I would have started this book at all.
Well, I did finish the book, right? And I also, like you both, moved on to the second book a little bit. And this is how I could tell that Tamlin don't stand a chance in this series.
There you go.
I actually started it, but I stopped, so I don't know anything.
I just started chapter 2, like the first couple words in chapter 2. But the way that they breezed past the fact that he asked her to marry him, I already knew. It wasn't even barely even a footnote.
True. They didn't even. Yeah, you're right. They definitely just was like, they're engaged now. I'm like, well, when did that happen?
Yes!
No one really said anything about it.
There wasn't even
don't
a
talk
scene.
about it too much. Don't talk about it too much now.
Oh.
We ain't saying we was gonna spoil the second one too. This is only first book spoiler.
Yeah, first
right.
I'm just saying this is not even. I don't even consider this a spoiler because it's literally just dropped in there as a footnote in the beginning of the second chapter of book 2. So it's
we already know what's about to happen. She about to go to this man's house and be wooed away
woman
by the danger.
I don't know. They just not giving him a chance. They got him in this stupid ass mask all the time.
Yeah, that mask.
He's not wearing the mask anymore. He's not wearing the mask anymore. Now you can see his beautiful face. So what now? And now compared to the way that she was talking about the way that Rhysand looks is not the same way she was talking about the way that Tamlin looks.
I agree. Rhysand was giving everybody want him.
She was enchanted.
Rhys is everybody type, allegedly.
That's true. So Tamlin don't even stand a chance. Only thing he got working for him is the coins. He's very generous with the coins, and we love that.
Why do you think Rhysand doesn't have the coins? He is at it's like the further north you get, the more rich and the more notoriety that you have. And he's up there. Aren't they at the top? The Night Court, aren't they at the top? You think he don't got them coins?
But he ain't been generous with them coins thus far. He ain't spent a dime on my girl. He spent a dime on my girl.
What is he gonna spend?
In the dungeon.
Something.
He got paid for them little flimsy nightgowns she wearing night and all that paint she put on her body and all them baths.
He got the I guess he could have bought my girl some suits of armor, something to help her out in the trials and shit.
Then
He didn't bring her
Amarantha
nothing.
would have
Suits of armor.
He
You
could
can't
have
give
brought
her
her
that.
something fancy that would help her with the trials, something that's going to protect her, something that she could rock after the joint. He didn't bring her
Amarantha would have
nothing.
ended it, and he the only one that bet on her winning. So he did spend money on her. He bet on her. Don't he
Barely,
the money
barely. He won money on her. She's a
you
pimp
gotta
and
bet
she's
to
the
win.
trick.
You gotta bet to win.
He believed in her when no one else
No,
did.
Tamlin all the way. I love a man who ain't stingy with the coins. Tamlin,
And he
all the
helped
way.
her.
Oh,
And he
God.
helped her win the second. Matter of fact,
Yes,
helped
he
her.
did.
He solved the second trial
Yes,
for
he
her.
did.
Yes,
Without
he
her,
did. I give him
without her
that.
having that brand, had he
And the
never
fact
made
that
that
she
deal.
just didn't go with it, that's why I was like, she doesn't go all the way to the top, this one. Because you don't know what's going on, right? You have
No,
this tattoo on your hand. You don't feel
With
like
an
it's
eye
magical or
that's
anything.
watching
You
you.
don't feel like
squeaky
he's
eye.
watching you or anything. You reaching for something, your hand is on fire. You reach for this one, hand on fire. You reach for this one, nothing's happening. It still took this girl like 3 more pages to
Yeah,
decide.
yeah, she's
The
dumb.
spikes are coming down on her. I'm like, bitch, if you don't pull
She's
that,
dumb.
And
even
thank
Lucian was like, bitch.
pick
Right,
one. Pick
right. She's stupid.
one.
But I like
She's
that. I like that she's
wrong.
dumb. I like that she's dumb. It's refreshing.
I'm
We always
tired of the dumb main character. Like
no,
when
we
you were just
always get
talking about
no, I
My
feel like we
Happy
always get the
Marriage.
smart main character. I feel like they're always smarter than
Do
everyone else.
we?
Even the last books that the last 2 books we had Manical,
Yeah,
Hermione, old
yeah.
smart ass, and goddamn
And
Jane book,
and
the
Draco was smart.
spinster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
She
and
was
I'm
smart.
glad. Let's get a dumb girl in here. Dumb girls need love too. They need to be main characters.
Wait, dumb girls need. And
The dumb action girl.
and
All
Right.
right, I get it.
it's
take it.
Representation. We love to
That's
see
the
I'll
only
it.
take
reason
it.
it makes sense now. The only reason his bargain makes sense now is because had she not made that bargain, she would have been dead in more times than once. So she had to make that bargain. But that eye creeped me out because the eye is definitely watching her. He's watching her
It's
all
definitely
the time.
watching her.
He's a creep. He's
Yeah.
a creep.
Yeah.
And she's
And
Yeah.
him
Tana
knowing how
Bell.
you feel
Ew.
too. I don't like
Yeah,
that.
reading her mind.
Oh my god! I just realized.
I don't like
Right.
that. Like when I'm
That's
like,
her. That's her coochie rubbing hand. She be out here rubbing her little
Oh.
coochie, and he looking at it.
Or the Tamlin hand, giving.
Oh, facts.
Watch this, Reese. Come on. or if it's not that hand, it's just watching the other hand.
Right.
Either way is wrong. Either way is all wrong. It's just nasty. He's nasty.
He's in the voyeurism. That's what it is. But anyway, that was the review. So overall, what do you give this book out of I guess how many? 1 to 5. 5 being the best, 1 being trash. I'll go first.
I can't believe y'all just said that, and now I cannot think about that tattoo the same way ever again. Well, he can turn it off. He's not watching all the time. He can turn it off. It's not automatic.
True. So something happened. He could just go, I'm out. I'm done.
Imagine he come back and just.
But he's not the type to cut that shit off. He watch it all day.
Hell yeah.
Lovely.
I'm going to give the book a 3.5. 3.5. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst. I was entertained. I'm willing to read the second one, which is, something to be said there. So 3.5 for me. So 1 through 5, 5 being the best.
I think I want to also footnote asterisk that the MVP of the book is Alice. Alice doesn't get the shine she deserves. Alice
the
has
slave.
been instrumental throughout the whole book. And if she ain't in the second book, I ain't reading it because
Alice the slave.
Yes.
This is what I was telling them. They describe her as having tree bark skin every other sentence, and she the slave of the goddamn castle.
No, I disagree. I highly disagree. When they said tree bark, I literally imagined a tree.
Me
because
too.
That
disgusting.
You know what I mean? Disgusting.
Why they gotta make her a tree?
A pretty tree. Like,
but no. The tree bark, the rough outer portion of the skin.
I'm gonna send you. No, see, you guys are imagining like the ugliest, roughest tree. When I imagine her,
bark is tough.
I need to send you think about how trees looked in like Disney and stuff like that. Like I'm
Okay,
imagining
The
like
book
them
could have
looking like
used
that.
any other definition. They could have
me
said
too.
chocolate. They could have said sand. They could have said
He gave her the
any other
roughest,
thing.
It was
nastiest
But goddamn
They're the
tree
kisses.
bark,
spring court. They're the spring court. Why would it be sand?
something. They could have
Anything,
said something. Night
anything.
skin.
I'm
Even
gonna
night
send
skin. I
you.
love a good night skin. That's sexy.
No,
The
I'm
night
gonna send
skin.
you some pictures because you're not imagining the trees that I'm imagining.
I'm
But
seeing
tree
a
bark.
rusty, dusty tree. Yeah, I'm seeing a
Tree
nasty
bark.
tree.
See that now that's terrible. I'm gonna send you some pictures so you guys can imagine. It's all about, perspective. And we're
I,
real on 3 different pages right now.
but she
Oh
still was
no.
the goat of the book. I loved
Yes.
that she was constantly weaved throughout it. I love that she was insight, guidance, and truly had good
She
intention.
was
She was phenomenal.
the magical Negro
Oh,
trope. Let's call it what it is. That's exactly what it was. Magical Negro, who's the goddamn house slave of
she
the
wasn't a
castle.
slave though. She worked
She
I
there.
was
She
don't
the
said
agree.
house
that.
slave.
She
She
I
was a
worked
don't
lesser
agree.
there.
fairy. She wasn't even a high fairy. She was a lesser fairy who
And
they
he still took
constantly
care of her
described as
kids
having
too.
tree bark skin, who had to do everything for everybody, and
What?
who was the magical. Oh, I know how to do this, baby. I know how to
Oh,
do this.
And
she never spoke like that.
That's
You're
no.
tripping.
basically what it was.
And
You're
Tamlin
tripping.
took
And
care of
most of the
her
fairies in
nephews
there
too.
were lesser fairies.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it's giving very much mammy, very
Why
much
would I
magical
have
Negro,
why would I have
magical
a
Negro.
household of high fae?
Working for me. She was a worker and he
She was a
protected her
slave.
nephews. No, she
She
wasn't.
She
was
She
was
a
a
worked there
worker.
slave.
and he helped with her nephews. She said that she was working there. You know what?
For how much money? Pennies? Indentured
He was
servant. Does that make you
he
feel
hid
better?
her nephews for her. You don't
She,
remember that? He hid her
yes,
nephews after the
they
sister
often
died.
separated Negro children from their
Their
parents back
parents
in the day.
died.
I'm not
Anyway,
surprised. I'm not surprised.
I'm going to rate this book. I'm going to rate this book. I kind of like your 3.5. I like your 3.5, but I'm going to give it a 4
Oh
Okay.
for
wow.
the simple fact that even when it was slow in the beginning, it still held my attention. Normally, I'm like ooga booga about it, like give me the smut, give me the.
Uh-huh.
But the way that she wrote it and the way that she kind of, explained that dynamic with her and her family, it tied in very well with the rest of the book and her personality and her decision making, and especially with the worm fight.
Okay.
That was probably one of my favorite challenges, the way that she went about that and she figured everything out and she was able to kill. Oh yeah, we can do spoilers. She was able to kill him. And
Uh-huh.
so, and then playing on her not being able to read. I do like that she's a dumb
Now,
girl.
keep in mind,
Do
though,
like
keep in
it.
mind, 5 is the absolute best.
Right.
5 is like, this book is so good. You're
Right.
still giving it a 4.
Sure.
Okay. All right. What about
Give it
you,
a 4.
Stephanie?
As Manacle is the standard, the gold star 5. Book is a strong 3 at best. It
Okay.
took too long to get going. Manacle, and again, I know I can't compare every book to Manacle, but it hit the ground running. I never had a dull moment. It took 30 chapters for me to finally enjoy. I was literally excited to finish the book. The first 30, I'm like, God, oh God, just what now? Good. It was a good story. I could do it. I think it just could have been a shorter 30 chapters. And that last half would have been like the meat of the book, and it would have been, dynamite. But 3, strong 3.
All right. So we got a 3, 3.5, and a 4. So if you enjoyed the book and enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to join us for our next review. We're our little virtual book club here. We're going to be continuing on with the series. We're going on straight to book 2, Court of Mists and Fury. So if you're interested in reading alongside us, check the links below. You can purchase the book for yourself and join us for our heavily spoiler heavy review of that second book. But that is all. I hope you guys have a great evening and a good night. So let me get my little see ya. Bye.
Bye.
See you.
Toodaloo.